Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Wicked Tales. I'm your host, Trevor Idle. And today we've got a very mysterious story, an unsolved mystery. On Christmas Eve in 1945, George and Jenny Sauter were celebrating with 9 of their 10 children. Later that night, when everyone was asleep, Jenny, the mother, was awakened by a phone call. Jenny would answer the phone, and the female caller on the other line would ask to speak to someone in the house who Jenny wasn't familiar with. Well, it happens all the time. Wrong number, right? That's exactly what Jenny told the caller. Well, the next thing the caller did was laugh and hung up on Jenny. Later that night, Jenny, her husband, and the rest of the family was awakened by a fire that had started around 1:30 a.m. Unfortunately, only 4 of the 9 kids made it out of the fire. The others were presumed to be dead. George, the father, had tried to save the other children. He assumed that the children were still upstairs in their rooms. So he went to his shed to see if he could get his ladder to get up to one of the windows upstairs. Unfortunately, the ladder was missing from his shed. So next he got into his dump truck and was planning to back it up to the house to try to stand on top of the truck to break into the house from the top. But for whatever reason, his truck wouldn't start. Very bizarre, right? It would only take 45 minutes to completely burn the Sauter house to the ground. The fire department would blame it on faulty wiring, and George and Jenny both believed that their 5 other children were dead, until the fire department searched the grounds completely, looking for the remains of the other 5 kids. When their remains were never found, George and Jenny thought something else may have happened. And right before New Year's, the coroner's office would issue 5 death certificates, which claimed that the kids either died by fire or suffocation. George and Jenny were convinced that their kids were not dead, but in fact were kidnapped. They believed that the fire was set intentionally to cover up the crime. Jenny and George were offering rewards for anyone who could help them or give them information to bring some sort of light as to what happened here. Unfortunately, all those attempts were failed. But fast forwarding 20 years later to 1965, this is where the story gets strange. A letter addressed to Jenny, the mother, was sent to her house. Inside of the envelope was a photo of a man in his mid-20s. On its flip side, a cryptic handwritten note read, "Louise Sauter, I have a brother, Frankie." Jenny and George couldn't deny the resemblance of their son, Louis, who was 9 at the time of the fire. Now, Louis is the kid who supposedly died in the fire, but now you have an envelope that's being sent to them claiming that this guy is Louis. So as strange as all this was, Jenny and George decided to hire a private investigator and send him to Kentucky to see if they could get some more answers here. Unfortunately, he came up blank, and they never heard from this Louis guy ever again. Do you think that the other 5 kids died in the fire, or do you think they were kidnapped? Let us know in the comments section below. And please go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And be sure to subscribe to us before you do any of that. Thank you for watching this episode of Wicked Tales. We will see you next time.